Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be trying to persuade you that we need to start drug testing welfare recipients and making it mandatory. And we need to really start acting upon this to change our current policy. So let's say that you're at the grocery store and you're in the checkout line and the person in front of you has a case of beer, junk food, just stuff that they don't really need. That's not a necessity. And you realize that they proceed to pay with government assistance. Now, I don't know about you, but that would just really irritate me. But what would you do when you see people using their government assistance, such as welfare on drugs? At this point, steam is coming out of my ears. As a taxpayer and contributor to the in need of financial assistance, I hope you are concerned about this as much as I am. Your hard-earned money is being abused, and that is not okay. I am here to persuade you to change the stigma that follows the welfare community. I am here to persuade you that making it harder to obtain welfare will not only positively affect those who apply, but our nation as well. I will explain where the government gets the money to fund programs such as TANF, which is temporary assistance for needy families. And then I'll talk about personal and socioeconomic benefits. Okay, so instead of using money to fund drug use, the money will better be spent in other areas within the states. The incentive to stop abusing drugs in order to provide for the family, whether it be financial aid or not, it will be significant enough to improve the lifestyles of the recipients and their families. The stigma that surrounds those who receive welfare will be lifted. The problem is that there is a stigma surrounding welfare recipients as being drug addicts, which a smaller percent of the welfare recipients actually are addicts. However, even that small amount costs the taxpayers more money than they actually think. Do you know how much you give to support the welfare programs? I found some information stating that an average American that makes roughly $50,000 pays in $36 to the safety net programs and the welfare community. If you think drug testing is a waste of time and money, just listen to this. In the Fairfax Underground, it used Florida for an example. They spent around 4 months of drug testing, and it revealed that only 2.6% applicants tested positive. 2.5% of 52,000 is 1,312. We would save $500 a month for those that fail, which 6,000 people normally fail. So 6,000 times 1,312 recipients that fail are 7,875 versus 1.27 million in operational costs. We just got our money back, even after we refunded those who did not fail the test. TANF is given only if the head of the household is working to obtain training to leave the program. However, some recipients have received TANF for 5 years, which is now being the cutoff. But there are other programs that people can apply for. I'm sure you agree that 5 years is an ample amount of time to find work and get a job. Many are saying that our Fourth Amendment is being violated because of unnecessary search and drug testing. So, requiring mandatory drug testing for qualification of financial aid is not to try and single out anyone or like a specific group of people, but those in poverty, but to make our best efforts to ensure that financial aid is being used to its fullest potential for the isolated individual as well as wide-scale socio-economic benefit. So, let me ask you, if the workforce has required drug testing, why should those who would like to receive free government aid not be required to submit a drug test? The Constitution clearly states in its preamble that it is to promote general welfare. Wouldn't you say that bettering personal lifestyle, positively affecting socioeconomics, is for general welfare? Drug testing would need to be mandatory. Because receiving financial aid isn't mandatory, you don't have to take a drug test. However, if you would like to receive financial aid, you must qualify. You work 40 hours a week. Officer Smith informed me that 7 out of 10 Americans are drug tested in order to either get a job or periodically throughout the time that they are in the workforce. I say equality for all. A smaller group cannot claim that they are being targeted when the general population already is tested more than those receiving aid. Why not get the general public involved with these tests as to integrate the welfare population into the general society? There are ways to shape the law so that the recipients do not feel attacked. So, by fixing the problem, you could make it a norm for people to be drug tested to receive financial aid. Just how most of you are expected to submit to drug tests for your jobs. So, the welfare programs already offer vocational rehab services that give training and skills to find employment. Another way to fix the problem is are like different measures that can be taken in order to perform the tests. College students, for example, can administer the tests as a part of their training. It's free and funds would be used to subsidize education. So personally, I am for the legalization of drugs as long as they are controlled. I do agree, like most of you, that it is the public's responsibility as American citizens to promote general welfare. Why not improve a family's lifestyle if it is possible? Okay, so We know where the money comes from to fund these programs. The personal and socioeconomic benefit that would come from a law like this will be exponential. We now know that enacting a law like this will not infringe on other rights, but rather help those who are really in need. Together, we can break the stigma that surrounds the welfare communities. Let's make welfare the last resort. No free money. The benefits of enacting this law are staring us in the face, asking why we are not helping every citizen. The personal growth is what we should strive for. By making it more of a challenge to get welfare, people will not be able to rely on free checks. Not only will the recipients see a great benefit, but we as a nation will be able to notice the socio-economic benefits. With less people in the system due to those who just won't bother or are weeded out, more money will be pumped into schools, for example. As Americans, we know what we need to do in order to build a brighter future for America. We know how much we are involved, how much can be saved, and how big the potential leap for personal and socioeconomic growth can be. Why wouldn't you go for the brighter option? Thank you.